game on who contributed to the drop in the pass rate. For more analysis on school management and the impact of teacher unions in school, let's welcome Professor Thulani Zengele from the College of Education at the University of South Africa from our Durban studios. Welcome, Professor, to PM News. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Professor, in your view, what is the downfall and the biggest challenges currently facing our education system?
First of all, is that our education system has been reduced to figures. We are, instead of focusing on the formative assessment of our matrics, we are looking at the summative assessment. And we actually have to be reminded all the time that our learners reach grade 12 after 12 long years. And two, there is a problem of implementing new changes, like currently the CAPS, and where our learners are used as guinea pigs. And if the system is not properly implemented, and at the same time, those who implemented the new systems anticipate failure before it starts. So why it starts then? Why use our learners in that way? And another problem is that there is not sufficient support that is given for the teachers to equally introduce the new changes and also be secure and confident in their delivery of learning content so that teaching and learning becomes a success. So the major problem is that now, if you look at the results now, the majority of our matrics, only 28% have got a bachelor's pass, and the majority have obtained a diploma pass, which means that there is still a problem. Those learners who have obtained a diploma pass are still going to face competition. They have passed, it's numbers, but they are still going to face stiff competition with those from other departments who have obtained bachelor's passes. And that again is going to drive our learners further now into stressful situations that have got to cope with. So the challenge is that we need the education stakeholders to work hand in hand so that there is success for our learners. Professor, and we need people there who are well trained to implement such changes.
Professor, speaking of guinea pigs, I mean, school management and teachers' unions are currently pointing fingers as to, the quality of our education system in the process affecting the very learners that are actually supposed to be going through with their studies. But what role does each of them play in the success or failure of our students?
Okay, we have got to know the roles of these major stakeholders. South Africa is a country where the unions play a major role in terms of the quality of our teachers, because the unions are the custodians of teachers' rights. They are there to ensure that teachers work in a situation that is where everything is workable. At the same time, the Department of Education has got to ensure that the programs are rolled out. But if the unions do not work in concert with the Department of Education, we are not going to see the end result. So in countries where the unions work hand in hand with the Department of Education without pulling each other apart, there is success there. So in our country, we find that teachers or the unions, the teacher union is still fighting for the rights of teachers to be recognized for the teachers in most of these areas to work in workable or safe situations. That has not been achieved, unfortunately, up to now. So we need our education stakeholders to know their role, and we need the right people in the right positions. We need the people who have got muscles, not in the body, to show their power, but to have got muscles in the mind to deliver sound and quality educational progress, so that we don't look at figures anymore. We look at the quality of our metrics. So it does not take us anywhere further if we celebrate the number of passes that are metrics, but it takes us further if we look at the quality of our metrics.
Very important indeed, Professor. But what should be the most significant focus at such a crucial time of a year, Professor, the new academic year?
The focus now is going back to the drawing table. I expect, as a manager and a leader, I expect to see schools before the year starts by now every school must have gone through, or right now, schools must be going through their drawing table that is now conducting the strategic planning sessions, whereby they look at the current pass rates and they look at the formative process. They look at the facilities if they were there. If they're not there, look at their budgets and look how the budgets can be structured so that they can meet the needs of each educational institutions. And every educational institution now must be able to project as how they will perform towards the end of the year, starting from day one. So we must not only focus at the end of the year, we must focus from the beginning, so that we know that if things do not go well at the beginning of the year, we know what to expect. But it is discouraging to find that those who are leading in education, they open up a statement by welcoming a failure or anticipating a failure before we even start. So we need a positive outlook by starting with a proper planning, strategic planning sessions away, where teachers, where parents, where SGPs, where the union is involved as well, so that we can see success. If we don't do things that way, and if we don't have the correct leaders in our education system, I think we are still going to struggle.
Professor Zengele, thank you so much for your heartfelt views right here on PM News today. Well, that's Professor Thulani Zengele, all the way in our Durban studios, talking to us about some of the challenges that are currently gripping our education system.